Good morning, everyone. Today we're gonna talk about the present perfect with since and for. Present perfect with since and for. Now let's move to a review of the present perfect that we have illustrated before. Let's talk about the affirmative form. Affirmative form of the present perfect is subject plus have and has plus PP, or the past participle. We talked it before, so we won't go through it a lot. I have driven my car. I have driven my car. This is the subject plus have plus PP of drive, drove, driven. So it's driven my car. So the next one, the negative form, subject plus have and has plus not plus PP. All we do here is but, not between have and has and PP. Sammy hasn't walked to school. Sammy hasn't walked to school. And the third one is interrogative. As we see, interrogative. It's the question that we answer with yes or no. We start here with have and has plus subject plus PP. Let's look at this example. Have they played tennis? Have they played tennis? Yes, they have, or no, they haven't. Let's look at the last part here. It's a WH question. WH questions. Here we start with the WH word plus have and has plus subject plus PP. Where has Sarah made the cake? Where has Sarah made the cake? She made the cake in the kitchen. She made the cake in the kitchen. Or sorry, here it's not made the cake. She has made the cake. Here is wrong. We need to put here has. Here the usage of the present perfect. One of the usages of the present perfect is to express an action that started in the past and ended recently. This is as we studied with just and already. I have just arrived to the club, or he has won the game already. So here we put just and already to express an action that started in the past and ended recently, or a few minutes ago, or a few hours ago. The second usage of the present perfect is to express an action that started in the past and has an effect on the present, or an action that started in the past and still happening. So it's an action started in the past and still happening. Okay? As we are going to discuss now with for and since. So let's start with for and since our lesson today. For and since. We use since. Let's start with since. Since plus starting point. Starting point. We need to specify a point in the past that we started the action, or a time, or a date. Let's look at the green font. 6 o'clock. I can say since 6 o'clock. Since the 2nd of June. Since Thursday. Since March. Since 1995. Since 1991. Since I was young. Since the beginning of time. So here we can see that we use since with a starting point. When we started the action. When we started the action. Only when we started. Okay, the start point. Look at the examples. We have been waiting here since 2 o'clock. It means that we are standing on the street waiting for somebody since 2 o'clock. So it's supposed to be 4 o'clock. So it's 2 hours that we are waiting for. He has been living in Paris since 2008. Okay, so he started living in Paris since 2008. So he started 2008 and he is still living there now. He has grown since I last saw him. He has grown since I last saw him. This is information since can get after it can come a past simple tense sentence. Okay, past simple tense sentence, like we see in the third example. He has grown since I last saw him. This is a complete past simple sentence. So this is the only way. For doesn't come after it. Complete sentence. Only since I last saw him. Sarah's been sick since Friday. Sarah's been sick since Friday. So she's sick now, but she started to be sick on Friday. Let's look on for. For comes after it the period of time. The period of time. I can or the number that and the time word. This is not about the starting point only, but it's about the starting point and all the time between the starting point and now. You understand it? When you look for 5 minutes, for 5 minutes, for 2 weeks, for 6 days, for 7 months, for 10 years, for 2 centuries, for a half hour, or for a while, for a long time, forever. We have talking for 30 minutes. We have been talking for 30 minutes. It tells us about that I started in the past and I'm still, or we are still talking until now for 30 minutes. So I calculated the time between the start and now. It has rained for a week. It has rained for a week. So it started a week ago and it's still raining. I have trained for 2 months. I have trained for 2 months. The time that, or the period of time that I have been training is 2 months. I started 2 months ago, and I'm now still training. He has been off work for a while, so he doesn't go to the work for a while. Let's look at these examples. Since examples. Number 1, he has lived here since 2010, sorry. He has lived here since 2010. So, when you look here, you will find that comes after since is just the beginning of time, 2010. They have been at the hotel since last week. They have been at the hotel since last week. I have worked in this company since you left it. I have worked in the company since you left it. Sarah hasn't eaten anything since 2 o'clock. Sarah hasn't eaten anything since 2 o'clock. Let's look at these examples, 4 examples. When you look here, you will find they are the same examples, but I made it once with since and the other with for. He has lived here for 10 years. So the first example in 4 examples, he has lived here for 10 years. When you look at the first example here in since examples, you will find it the same, but I transferred it. When you look 2010 and now we are to 2020, so it's 10 years. I calculated the beginning of the time. It's 2010 and now it's 2020, so it's for 10 years. They have been at the hotel for a week. They have been at the hotel for the week. I have worked in this company for a long time. I have worked in the company for a long time. Sarah hasn't eaten anything for 5 hours. Sarah hasn't eaten anything for 5 hours. Okay. Let's summarize what we have said. So, when we use for, we use it to calculate the time that's between the start of the action and now. But since it's only about the start of the action, okay, I hope that that was clear. I hope that you understood what I said, and thank you. Meet you next session, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.